Welcome back to the Benchwarmers Podcast. This is our second episode. Thank you guys so much for all the positive support on the first one. We are your hosts, Jacob,
Sam,
and Baiden.
and so this week we're not even through the whole week yet since our last one. There's been a lot of sports news that we want to cover, and with that, I'm gonna hand it off to Sam for our basketball recap and rundown.
Oh, okay. So, we all know the Cavs lost last night. We're talking about the Wednesday night victory. So I was at the game. It was even more painful there. So before I burst into tears, let me break down what went wrong. Literally nothing. We played that as well as we could have. We had like 3 crazy possessions at the end of the game where Kuzma hit like 2 corner threes.
Yeah,
and
I saw that.
Bradley Beal hit a corner 3 on a possession that Isaac Okoro got decked on, and nothing was called.
That's so wild. I saw that. That's so wild.
That was insane. So I don't know. I have a couple of notes about what went wrong. So our guys were gassed. We rested Mobley for like 2 minutes we rested Mobley for 2 minutes with 5 left in the fourth quarter. We need Markkanen and Love back. I don't know when they get out of health and safety, but we need him back very, very badly.
Yeah.
So we went away from the active offense. There were a lot of possessions in like the fourth quarter where we were just sitting still, waiting for people to Jetty would sit at the top of the key, kind of just waiting for Rubio to come around off a screen or for Garland to come around off a screen, which we weren't doing at the beginning of the game. We were moving the ball pretty well. Okoro played incredible defense on Bradley Beal. He was 0 for 8 until like midway through the third quarter, which
was crazy.
It was awesome. He's on defense. Obviously, it would be great for him to score a little more, but the defense that he played absolutely made up for the nothing he did on the offensive side.
Yeah.
Overall, I think it's a tough loss, obviously, but it's a good learning experience for this very young Cavs team. And obviously, 7-5 is not bad.
Yeah, they're 6th in the East right now. They're definitely a playoff contender. So, which is not something we've been able to say since LeBron left.
Yeah, I think honestly, the way that they've been playing so far this year, I think going into the year, I think a lot of Cavs fans were just hopeful for a possible play-in bid, but I think we can look further than that if we can consistently play the way we've been playing.
For sure. I like that a lot.
I mean, they look good. That's the bottom line. I mean, the losses to a really good Wizards team. They've had
first seed in the East, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Our losses are to really good teams. It's not like we've had a bad loss to a really bad team yet. I mean, we look good. I think we look good.
Yeah. So what I really wanted to talk about, though, and this brings me some great joy to say, we need a backup point guard. We can't play Garland and Rubio
forever. The Sexton injury hurts.
Yeah, it does. It does. But I think
just a backup guard, maybe not, or a 2 guard or something like that. Maybe not a point guard.
No. We need a point guard. One point guard in particular. The short king himself. The king of the fourth quarter, Isaiah freaking Thomas. Now, I know. His last stint in Cleveland didn't turn out too great. He was part of that Kyrie trade that brought us the GOAT, Ante Zizic. But look, he can take over Sexton's role as an offensive creator, off of the bench. He doesn't have to play a ton. He can play 12, 13 minutes just when our guys need a break because he can facilitate the offense really well. He's a pretty good passer. I think that he honestly fits pretty well with this team. I am convinced that the Cavs should unironically sign Isaiah Thomas.
Is he playing right now?
No, he is not on a team right now.
No, yeah, he's been a free agent for a couple years. Has it been 2 years?
No, he was on the Pelicans last year, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It was either last year or the year before. So, look, either him or I guess like Jeff Teague if you want like just a guard. But I don't want Jeff Teague. I want Isaiah Thomas. That's the only person I want.
Where's Delhi playing now? Australia?
Yeah.
We could use him.
Delhi would actually be sick, but I think he's...
I don't know. Delhi's... At this
Delly
point,
looks cooked last year.
yeah, he's a fan favorite. Cleveland loves him. Who will forever love him. But
Yeah.
as just objectively, no.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. So I guess the one thing I want to talk about before we go on to like the rookie, before we go on to the Pistons game, like the keys to the Piston game, we can talk about that a little. The rookie of the year rankings. So
Ooh, this is
let
a
me
good
pull
one.
up. Let me pull up, not pull up, not hook up. Fudge.
I'd hook
Sorry,
up
guys.
Evan Mobley.
What do you mean by that?
So let me pull up Evan Mobley's stats right now. So Evan Mobley yesterday, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 7 of 15 field goals in only 26 minutes. You guys can't see the face that Jacob is making right now. I think he might be choking legitimately. Yo, Jacob, you good?
We're so hard.
Yeah, I had to mute my mic for a second. I
don't know
choked on
what
a
was
piece of ice.
happening.
Yeah, but he looked really good. I like Yo, Jacob, are you good? Sorry, Jacob is like falling out of his chair right
I'm
now.
okay.
Oh my God.
I don't know. He looked really good. I love Evan Mobley. So right now, my rookie of the year race is just off the top of my head, Mobley, Barnes, Chris Duarte, Josh Giddey, and then there's one more. Ooh,
I probably
who
say.
am I forgetting? I don't want to put Jalen Green in there because I don't think Jalen Green is a rookie of the year player right now.
Yeah, I agree. He might be there eventually this season, but not yet.
I got to think for a second. Who would be my fifth? Because I do believe that right now. Corey Kispert hasn't played. Oh, it's Who did the Magic draft? Who did the Magic draft? I'm trying to think.
Oh
no, it's Davion Mitchell. What am I saying? It's Davion Mitchell.
Or you could say Franz Wagner. He's been playing.
Oh,
really
Franz Wagner is a good idea.
I'd say he's just outside though. I'd say he's at 6.
Yeah, Franz Wagner is at 6. So yeah, Mobley, number 1 Mobley, 2 Barnes, 3 Duarte, 4 Giddey, 5 Davion Mitchell. I mean, I've watched only a few Sacramento Kings games this year, but he looks good. I like the way he plays.
I agree.
Duarte is he just shoots so much.
Yeah.
He's good for that Wizards team because Malcolm Brogdon isn't going to do that.
Yeah, I believe he was the oldest player in this draft.
Yeah,
so
one of them.
You're getting a very polished player off rip. So I think
because drafting old players has never turned out badly for anyone.
Yeah.
Brandon Whedon was actually very good.
Oh man.
The Browns quarterbacks is like a complete other discussion. So
That's true.
Yeah. Speaking of the Browns, I think this is a great way to section into our next
that
topic.
was wow. No, I had. Let me just say the keys to the Pistons game.
I have a little bit more. I
forgot about that. My bad. I thought it's been. Yo, I thought it was a perfect way to go in. But I forgot the Pistons game was. Is that tonight?
That's tomorrow. We play 3 games in 4 nights. We go Friday, Saturday, Monday.
Dang. Hey, Jacob, edit that out.
I can't.
No. All right. So, also just saying, Jetty needs I think it's 5 3-pointers now. He needs 5 3-pointers to pass Mo Williams for 9th all time on the Cavs list.
That's so weird.
Bro, hearts out to Chetty, my Turkish Jesus, only God I pray to. That's right. I just said that, and it's right.
It's a weird thing to say.
And so the keys to the Pistons game, we're doing the little Kia driving thing that they do at the beginning of every Cavs game. We're not Kia, sponsor us. But let them shoot. They are so terrible at shooting. The Pistons are so terrible at shooting. It's insane. Their
Pistons
best
are so
shooter
terrible at
is
everything. To be fair.
Okay, well, that's besides the point. We could literally just let them play basketball and we'd probably win, but I had to have something to talk about.
That's true.
So their best shooter is Killian Hayes, 38%. And then Corey Joseph, who is shooting 33%. It is abysmal in the Motor City. So just back up, play it. I think that you can feel comfortable playing a 2-3 zone this time around. I think that's what we did a couple nights ago against one of the teams. I don't know, with Mobley at the top. I like that a lot. I think that just fits well with our defense. Key number 2, we're going to feed our centers. Who's going to guard them? Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk?
Yeah.
Kelly Olynyk and Beef Stew. I don't think that they can guard Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Yeah. And
I saw a very funny tweet that said Kelly Olynyk looks like an Amish drug dealer. I thought that was very funny.
that is wild. And then, of course, the only real threat on their roster, dude. I think I just jinxed it because somebody's going to drop like 40 on us. But I think it's Jeremy Grant. So
Jeremy
Grant.
I believe.
Yeah. Actually, I want to check that. You're probably right. Jeremy Grant. I'm a big Jeremy Grant enjoyer.
Yeah.
I was definitely surprised he went to the Pistons, but it's one of those, I guess, bigger roles. I think he wanted just a bigger role instead of prioritizing winning.
A good way to get yourself onto a good team is to first play really well on a bad team because you'll get noticed.
That's true. That is so true. Jeremy Grant last night in the win against the Houston Rock. Oh, this game was nationally televised, and the Cavs versus Wizards game was not. Let's just make note of that.
The Cavs do not have a single nationally televised game.
0. They're one of 4 teams, which is so stupid. Rework the schedule, please.
Every team should be on the nationally televised at least a couple times a year.
It's so dumb. Anyway, it's Jeremy Grant last night put up 25 points on 12 of 23 field goals. He looked really good. I love again, big Jeremy Grant enjoyer. Cade Cunningham might be a little bit of a problem for us. Our wings probably can't guard him, and I'm scared of Darius Garland even attempting to guard that 6'7" monster.
Yeah.
You're probably looking at putting a Okoro on him.
I thought we would put a Okoro on Jeremy Grant because I'm more scared of Jeremy Grant scoring than Cade. I'd be okay with putting Dylan on Cade. Because Cade might have put up 20 points, but he was 8 of 18.
Yeah, Cade is not, some elite scorer yet, or efficient, I should say, because no one expects him to be elite. He's not efficient at all. So I guess you could probably be worth to put somebody else on him. That's not Okoro.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, Sadiq Bey. I don't know why I forgot Sadiq Bey. That's so stupid of me. Hearts out to Sadiq Bey. He can shoot a little, but
Sadiq Bey is James Harden's father.
Sadiq Bey is on my fantasy basketball team, and man, let me tell you, he's been very good for me. Although I am 1-2, he has been very good for me.
I handed Baiden he's averaging. Viewers note, one of Baiden's losses is me. Just thought I'd put that out there.
Sadiq Bey so far this season is averaging 13.5 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. Absolutely terrible splits. He's averaging 38, 28, and 70. Stats look nice, but efficiency looks bad. So, like I said, let him shoot. I'm okay with it.
I think the thing with shooters who take a lot of shots and miss a lot of shots is that for some reason they're always the ones who hit the clutch shot. They'll miss all day and they'll hit the clutch
Kuzma,
shot.
bro.
Kuzma.
Anyway,
Right.
I think that's about it for the Cavs segment. So if we want to move on.
All right, so next up, I want to talk a little bit about college football.
Ooh.
New AP rankings dropped a few days ago.
All right, yeah, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this so much.
Bama 2, Oregon 3. Ohio State Buckeyes are at 4, and I believe Cincinnati's at 5.
Cincinnati is at 5.
Yeah.
I'll let Baiden take it away. I got something to add in
Yeah,
a little bit, but Baiden go.
I have so much to talk about these rankings. It's absurd. Alrighty. All right, Jacob, we gonna
Yeah.
keep going rankings.
Okay, so
Just
I
round out
have
the top
I
10.
have a bias. I'm trying to
No,
find
round
them
out the
here.
top 10.
Round out the top 10.
I'm trying to find them. Here, hold on one
I
second.
think it's 6 is Michigan, 7 Michigan State, 8 Oklahoma, 9 I believe is
The one I'm looking at right now,
I don't remember. I
it
don't
must
not
be
remember
wrong
who it
because
is.
this one has Georgia 1, Cincinnati
Here, let me-
2, Bama 3, Oklahoma 4.
You're looking at the AP poll. You're looking at the
Yeah,
AP
what am I
poll.
supposed to be looking for?
The Sure. All right, I got it with me.
Okay.
Georgia 1, Alabama 2, Oregon 3, Ohio State 4, Cincinnati 5, Michigan 6, Michigan State 7, Oklahoma 8, Notre Dame 9, Oklahoma State at
Oh, I see it. Yeah. Okay. So I don't think there's really much to say about Georgia. They've been dominant and they're definitely deserving of 1. I don't think it's close. 2,
Then the
Alabama.
next-
You can't take Alabama out of the college football playoff if they only have 1 loss. If they lose to Georgia in the SEC championship, it gets a little bit weird. But I think Alabama will probably make the championship.
All right.
And then
all right,
that's where the real debate starts after 1 and 2.
with
Baiden, you wanna
Baiden
go?
taking over.
all right. So I think that is I think you're right about that, Jacob. But the thing I want to talk about is Michigan and Michigan State and where they're ranked. Because this is really bad. Michigan State literally just beat Michigan head to head last week. Week. Like this isn't some week, this isn't like a week 1 win kind of like like I don't think you should value a week 1, like if you lose to a team week 1, week 2, week 3 as much as you do what was that, week 10 we're in
Or
last week.
something like that.
Yeah.
There's no way you can value that the same. And you have Purdue now ranked. So, and Purdue has beaten some pretty good teams. So I don't think it's as bad as a loss to drop them below a team that they beat and were clear and were better than. And you have it higher up in the rankings. You have Oregon at 3 ahead of Ohio State. And the only reason you have Oregon ahead of Ohio State is because Oregon beat Ohio State.
That is a
It's the
very
only
good
reason.
take.
And Oregon lost to a way worse team in Stanford, who's not ranked and it's not going to be ranked this year, probably.
Yeah.
So
Stanford ranked at the end of the year just to get Oregon into the CFP would be wild.
that'd be so wild. Stanford can't be over 500 right now. There's no way. But yeah, college football playoff it's inconsistent. I personally don't like it. Even as an Ohio State fan, it favors a team like Ohio State.
It really does. Yeah.
It favors Ohio State. It favors Alabama. It favors those teams that already have bias because they've been so great consistently.
Yeah.
But I still don't like it. I think we need parity in college football, and
Yeah.
college football playoff just does not help that.
I think really you need to look at. Oh yeah, you go for it, Sam.
I just wanted to talk about Cincinnati. This is the only reason I'm here for these college football segments. I could literally just take off for like 5-10 minutes. But I'm not even a Cincinnati fan. I live in Ohio. Like that's literally it. But the fact that what's Texas A&M ranked? Texas A&M
11.
is ranked 11.
Yeah.
They are 7-2. They are ranked above what's the next undefeated? They are ranked above number 23 UTSA, who is 9-0. But that just gets into a whole nother problem. But my point is, I know what you're about to say, Vin. It's UTSA. I got it.
I'm not saying by the
way-
UTSA should be ranked higher. UTSA
Baiden.
should be ranked higher. I believe you. But Texas A&M did beat Alabama with their backup
Yes,
quarterback.
I agree.
So
which is why Alabama shouldn't be ranked. They should be ranked, but they shouldn't be in the top 4.
They shouldn't be.
They should be 7. I'll say it. They should be 7.
Then what would your 4 be, Sam?
My
What's your
4.
Top 4.
My top 4 right now, just because I'm not a big avid watcher of college football. I just like to see that. I like to see people get upset. It's probably Georgia, Ohio State, Cincinnati, and then you can have your pick of Michigan or Michigan State. It doesn't matter to me. Oregon should be probably ranked around 5. Whichever one of Michigan State doesn't get in is 6, and then Alabama 7. But they won't do it because
you would keep Oklahoma at 8.
Yes,
undefeated Oklahoma.
Okay, I think Oklahoma is the team that's really being overlooked here. They went through a QB change, which is arguably, by the way, one of the best things that's happened all season. Caleb Williams taking over.
That's one of the biggest QB chains in history. I don't think people realize that.
Yeah, I mean, this Rattler was a contender for the number 1 pick, and chances are he's not going to go in the first round anymore. I mean, almost definitely.
He doesn't go. Like I said this last podcast, I don't think he's gonna declare. Like that's just not the best thing for his.
Yeah, you're right. He'll probably hit the transfer portal.
He should transfer to like I don't know what's a school he should transfer to. Auburn.
Auburn.
I don't think because I think Bo Nix probably is Bo Nix. If Bo Nix declares for the draft, you transfer to Auburn. I think that's just the best.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I think.
Or so maybe somewhere like
he might transfer to the Big Ten. It would be
Cincinnati. Desmond Ridder is going to declare this after this year. Yeah. So maybe you transfer to Cincinnati.
So here's the way I look at college football rankings. Because it's a playoff and you're having these teams play head to head, I care less about record and more about who would win in a head to head matchup. That's my big thing.
Yeah, that.
Oh, you're one of the. Boo! I don't like this.
You're
trash take. Trash take.
That's why Alabama is that too. Because let's just be honest, Alabama's beating Oregon. Yeah. Alabama is beating Cincinnati. With confidence. Alabama's beating Michigan. I'm confident about that. Alabama's beating Notre Dame confidently. But Georgia, I don't think anyone's beating Georgia at this moment. I don't think they confidently would beat Ohio State. I don't think they confidently beat Michigan State or Oklahoma.
Yeah, so I think the college football playoff rankings, sometimes they undervalue head to head, and sometimes they overvalue it. Like an example of undervaluing it is like what Baiden said, Michigan State and Michigan. There's no reason Michigan should be above Michigan State, but overvaluing it, I don't know. I guess the justification for Oregon over OSU is the head-to-head win. There's a lot of signs that point to the fact that OSU did not have it figured out yet, and they have drastically improved over the last 2 months. I think if they played again, OSU wins confidently.
Yeah.
So my top 4 right now, just because I'm a big head-to-head guy.
Yeah, no.
Georgia? No jokes made about that one. No, I refuse. Move. What's your top 4?
Wait a minute.
Georgia.
Move.
Georgia, Alabama, OSU, Oklahoma.
Your trash take. That's a trash take. I hate that. That is.
All right. So both of you have some pretty awful top 4s. Georgia's undeniably the number 1 team in the country.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Greatest defense of the past decade. It's been amazing. I think the number 2 team in the country so far this season.
Don't say it, Baiden.
I honestly, I may be biased, but I honestly believe it's Ohio State.
Oh, okay. I don't care about that.
If you were going to say Cincinnati, I would have jumped on that.
No. That would have been there are worse takes.
No one's going to give them the credit that they deserve for beating a Penn State football team that with Sean Clifford beats Iowa on the road. A healthy Sean Clifford, they don't go to 9 overtimes with Illinois. And if those things don't happen, Penn State would be ranked right now. Penn State would only be a 1-loss football team right now. So I think that is a better win than anything Alabama has right now. Like you have to look at, or I guess Ole Miss. I mean, Penn State is probably I think is a better team than Ole Miss if both of those teams are healthy. But obviously Ole Miss is ranked, so maybe that's a lie. Number 3, I would say is Cincinnati. I'd put Cincinnati at 3, and then I put Alabama at 4.
Yes, I like that. That is a good top 4.
And then I'd say Oklahoma is just outside at 5, and then probably I have Oregon at 6. So that's my top. That's my top 6, I guess.
That's valid. I just think Oklahoma isn't getting enough credit.
True.
Just
But
saying.
if they keep it up, they're gonna get in. Like undefeated Power 5 conference
Yeah.
team is gonna get in. Although I don't think that's fully true, because if Wake Forest had stayed undefeated, I don't think Wake Forest would have gotten in over even a 2-loss Alabama football
That's true.
team.
That's
I
true.
don't
Which
need,
They will never give it to a team like Wake Forest.
yeah,
Just like how they
the
did
way
UCF, 13, 14 and 0 a couple years ago.
Mhm.
don't talk about UCF. You're gonna make me cry.
UCF, I think, actually had a shot. If you put UCF into that college football playoff, they had a shot.
what was that college football playoff that year? Was that
Which year was UCF?
that was 2018, because that was the year before
2017. It was
or
2017.
20 was still 2017.
2017.
I'm looking right now. I have the
I
rankings
I
archives.
thought
pulled
that
up.
was the year before LSU destroyed everybody.
2017 was
Yes,
the year of
UCF.
Trevor
They were
Lawrence.
ranked 15th, and when they went 9-0, is that it? That's what we're talking about.
No, I
I
don't.
think they went 12 and 0.
They went
Mm.
13-0 that season.
Oh.
All right, let me hold on.
UCF 13.
The year
0.
UCF had their really good year was the
27
year Trevor Lawrence had his breakout year. It was the Clemson beating
was-
Alabama 35-31.
35-30. Are you sure about that? Or is that not? Was that not when? No, I thought that was when Clemson destroyed Alabama in the championship game.
Not from what I'm seeing.
Undefeated. UCF undefeated season.
Wow, what? I don't know.
Right.
This is obviously the
no,
college
alright.
football playoff is flawed. I don't think anybody's arguing that. It's just
So yeah, that was the 2017 season.
It is a very tough thing. The college football
It's a
playoff.
very difficult
To
thing.
rank,
I
just
understand.
ranking teams, the NFL power rankings are a lot easier because of how few teams there are. Ranking
Mhm.
teams that have never and will this year and will the teams that haven't played each other that year and won't play each other that year is a very tough thing to do. So like,
Yeah,
I think every list they put out is respectable for the most part. And yeah,
I don't know.
are you guys ready to move on?
yeah.
I'm just gonna say last thing. There's just too many inconsistencies. They show too much bias, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean part of it is just the market. Like they're not gonna put in a very small market team if it's close.
Perfect transition into the first thing about the NFL that I wanted to talk about.
Go for it.
I was pulling up the article that I was thinking about. So the NFL reportedly is hoping to expand to a 36 team league, so that they can have 18 people.
Oh, I saw that. It was like London, San Antonio, St. Louis.
London, St. Louis, Toronto are the 3 that I can remember.
I think the last one was San Antonio.
San Antonio, probably. That would make sense.
How would a London team work? Also, I just hate this idea.
I disagree strongly. I love the idea of the London team. We can finally give London, right, an acceptable football game to watch. They had to suffer through the Atlanta Falcons playing the New York Jets. And what was the other London game this year? It was the Jaguars versus
Dolphins.
Why do we do this to the British?
I don't understand. I don't understand why you don't give them like a really good. I guess it's because the ratings. Like if you give them like a, I don't know, Packers versus Cowboys type of game, your ratings gonna be so down because that's a 9:30 a.m. game for the majority of people who watch the sport on a regular basis. For some people it's even earlier. It's just us because we're on the East Coast. So I think they're saying a game that wouldn't normally get a ton of views, we should put that game way early in the morning for us Americans.
I think my problem with a London team is that team will suck for like 3 years, and then their home field advantage will become so ridiculous that they will make the playoffs every year.
That home field advantage is absurd. Playing in a different country is
also, like right now the NFL makes sense with the 32 teams split up nicely into 8 divisions. It's just it really works right now. I don't think there's any reason to change it.
If there's
I
30,
understand.
if there, because now you have 18 in a conference.
I
You're not
understand it. I logically I get what you guys are saying, right? But the romantic in me, good God, I want to see the two international team. I want to see Toronto play London in an NFL game so desperately. Put one in Vancouver too, bro. Give the Canadians something.
I have no problem with
Honest,
Canada, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I
going up
really
to Toronto or Vancouver is not, but
that's
going
that's a common thing in the
traveling
NBA.
traveling the pond, like imagine, like that's just wild to me.
Yeah, I don't think
guess.
I'm anti this. I think, but I'm not
Well,
like I don't. It'd be cool.
you suck then. But
It'd be cool, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of it.
I understand. That makes
Okay,
sense.
so let's start to cover a little bit of the news from this week. We're gonna start a little bit smaller. Not small, but Cam Newton back with the Panthers.
Let's go. I'm unreally.
Right.
That's words. Unbelievably excited about it. I think that he still has a little bit of gas left in the tank. I think that somebody was going to give him a call eventually, and it's only right that this is the team that gave him the call.
Yeah, I think obviously, Sam Darnold out. I forgot the injury, but he's out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Partial fracture. He couldn't even complete a fracture.
I saw that tweet. That's what I remember now. Yeah, he was their best option. Let's just be honest. Like Cam Newton was the best option out there.
It makes sense.
And yeah, I think it's what the Jets should have done, in my opinion, when Zach Wilson went down. I think it's what.
But it worked out for them, didn't it?
It did work out for them. Mike White has become a legend, but yeah, I think the Panthers made a great move. Will it amount to a lot more wins than having Darnold in there? I don't know.
If the Panthers sneak into the wild card, that would be the greatest. It would be such an awesome comeback story. If Cam just leads them to a couple wins, it'd be awesome. It'd be great to see. Yeah, I think Cam back is cool. I think DJ Moore is going to be a top 10 receiver the rest of the year. He's the only skill position player other than McCaffrey who is still there. You know, like Robbie Anderson, he doesn't know it all, and Anderson's already having a bad year. Cam doesn't throw a lot of deep balls.
DJ Moore being top 10. He's on my fantasy team. Oh, man.
Yeah, DJ Moore, I think, is going to have a really good rest of the year. McCaffrey, this hurts him a little bit because of the goal line touches. But
I actually disagree. I think this helps him a bit.
I think it helps him in actual, like, the sense of how he plays, but in a fantasy aspect,
yeah.
I think what Jacob was heading towards, because I brought it up. Yeah, it does hurt because that's what Cam Newton. That's the most valuable thing he brought to the Patriots last year was his red zone rushing ability.
Yeah, which is I don't know. I was thinking about it because I think he's going to get a lot of checkdowns. Because I don't know. Do we remember how bad Cam Newton's shoulder looked last year?
That's true.
Like how it looked like it was physically paining him every time he threw the ball more than like 20 yards. Much like Mac Jones.
Rushing touchdowns than passing touchdowns.
Yeah, something weird like that. And I just feel like he's probably going to get a lot of. I mean, I just said it. He's going to get a lot of checkdowns. Probably a bunch of halfback tosses. I'm talking like I'm playing Madden right now, which I think is pretty fun.
Halfback toss.
The halfback toss. I don't know. He'll get a lot of like short, very short passes because I'm not sure how much juice his arm has left.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Just looking at the QBs that they could have had RG3 or Blake Bortles.
Cam is the option.
Cam is the only correct, or Deshaun Kaiser.
By the way, this is
serious.
Kaiser,
you just say Deshaun Kaiser? No way. He just
the goat.
No.
Kaiser had his career ruined by the Browns.
I know. We sometimes say that we throw around the goat a lot. Oh, Elijah just walked into my house, dog. I got so scared. Yeah, I saw. I'll do that soon. Yeah. All right, but Deshaun Kaiser is so awful. I can't even make goat jokes about that man. He is so awful. Oh my gosh, man. I'm getting a headache just thinking about him.
But here's the thing.
1 second.
Here's the thing. Like, Kaiser, his career was so short. He didn't even play the rest of his rookie contract. He's just gone. He played 1 year, had one of the worst years in NFL history, and his career was over immediately. There was no talk of him ever again. He was just gone. His career was over, and that was it. And then the Baker Mayfield era started. Kaiser had his career ended by being in a bottom 5 situation of all time. This is not me saying Kaiser was an okay quarterback. He was trash. However, quarterbacks don't last 1 year in the NFL.
In his 1 year, he threw for 3,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 22 interceptions. Let me see the receivers from that Browns team. I know that this is a little bit of a tangent, but I really desperately want to see the receivers from this Browns team.
Corey Coleman.
Yeah, Corey Coleman dropped the pass against the Steelers that secured.
Yeah, I cried when he dropped that.
Wait, no, I was at that. I remember I was at that game. I was at that first game of the year where we lost like 24-20 or something like that. All right, their leading receiver that year was Duke Johnson.
Oh my god.
Followed by Seth DeValve.
DeValve was actually really good.
He was
really good.
Josh Gordon played 5 games that year and had 330 passing receiving yards. Isaiah Crowell was on that team. Oh my god, Deshaun Kaiser had more rushing yards than Duke Johnson that year.
Yeah, Duke Johnson. We should bring him back for this week. Johnson and Johnson. Vaccine jokes all week. Okay, so the big news. This is the big one. OBJ gone from the Browns. Beckham is on the Rams, who are already.
Oh yeah, this literally just broke like
all right,
2 or 3 hours ago.
All right, one, the salary cap not exist.
Yeah, I don't understand his contract.
I don't. It's probably a very cheap contract. It has to be. But the Rams just have so much money for everybody. I guess. It's wild. I think this is honestly a low risk, high reward deal for the Rams, in my opinion. Because if Odell Beckham is not working out for them, I'm not too worried because we've seen them. Their offense is already completely fine without him.
I think he'll make their offense worse.
This can't be real. Hold on. Sorry. I'm looking at their cap space right now. It says total cap liabilities $183 million. And it still says that their team cap space is they still have $3 million in cap space. That can't be real, right? They have so much money tied up in everybody.
I think they were I guess during the offseason they were probably able to restructure contracts.
Oh, right, because they exploit the system where they turn all of that money into like a bonus, so they just pay it off up front.
That's what the Saints did, because the Saints were like negative $100 million in cap space, and they just let players go and converted so much money into signing bonuses. That's all you really got to do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The Rams strategy is genius.
Play like it's Madden.
I mean, it's so genius. Screw draft picks, take established players. That's the way to go. They're either gonna be dynasty for the next 3 years or be the biggest failed experiment the NFL has ever seen.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it too much because I think we talked about it a lot last episode. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like it's an experiment, like it's the hardened small ball Rockets where they were running PJ Tucker at the 5 and he's like 6'5". And it was weird and it was interesting, but in the end, it didn't really end up doing anything. So, but I like this Rams team. I hope that they do well. I like Matthew Stafford a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Donald. We talked about it again. They put in so much into winning in these next couple of years. Honestly, this year, because Odell and Von Miller aren't locks to be on this team next year. They're both going to be free agents.
Yeah.
So, you gotta. It's so much pressure on Sean McVay, but I think he wants it like that.
Yeah. I mean, what cost them the Super Bowl in 2017?
Jared Goofball. Yeah.
Goff was what was holding their roster back. People didn't realize it until after that Super Bowl. He was a bottom 10 quarterback on the best team in the NFL. He was absolutely holding them back.
I mean, Todd Gurley was also hurt. You can also.
That's true.
Who is that odd quarterback that started the playoff game for them last year. It was Wolford, right? What was his first name?
John Wolford.
John Wolford. I mean, he led him to a playoff victory, and then
Goff did come back in, and
Goff came back in.
He played pretty well. Like Goff actually played one of his best games of the last couple of years in that playoff game. But to your point, John Wolford had them in the game against the Mid-Hawks. Sorry,
interesting thing.
Yeah, I know what you're referencing. I got you.
John Wolford wore number 9 for the Rams. He had to give it up to Stafford. He wears number 13 now. He's just collecting all the jerseys.
F to pay respects.
John Wolford, go.
Odell's probably gonna change his number. I
bet he'll wear 3. He'll want to wear one of the new single digits. Those are sick, by the way. Great change.
I like it. I think isn't that what he wore at LSU, number 3?
Yeah, I think that sounds right. But let's. In Browns news, Wyatt Teller and Joel Bitonio both signed massive
big
extensions.
I'm a big fan of this.
I always thought you were going to start with the bad news first, but I'm happy
let's start with the good news. The extensions, I think, are a really good thing for the Browns. I liked the fact that we were reasonable about Bitonio not having that many years left in his prime. We gave him 3 years. Teller, I mean, you guys have seen him play. He's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, no. So good.
Teller
is
good. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, definitely great to solidify our offensive line. Wills isn't going anywhere either, which begs the question. You're the GM. Are you letting Jack Conklin go, or are you letting J.C. Treader go? Because you're going to have to let one.
Because I remember you asked me this question in Latin class, Jacob. Honestly, I think you're probably because you're more than likely replacing those guys through the draft. Because
we have Nick Harris, who's actually a pretty good backup center, and we have James Hudson, who I was super excited about coming out of the draft, and he's been bad, which was not good to see.
But if it's honestly kind of based off what you feel that upcoming draft is like, I feel like if we're making that type of decision, which we'll probably have to at some point, when we pay Baker Mayfield, Denzel Ward, and some of these other young stars, we're gonna some of those guys are gonna have to go. So
especially you should consider the fact that we're gonna be drafting from 32 next year. So that's definitely something to factor in. When you have such a late first round pick, it makes your options tougher.
Hey, speaking into existence. I
think we'll be fine.
I
think our O-line stays top 5 regardless of who we lose.
To truly answer your question, Treader, just because it's of positional value.
Yeah.
But if there's some generational tackle a couple years from now when Jack Conklin is on the last year of his deal. Is there any freshman tackles going crazy right now in college football? I gotta look into that because if there is, then that might be our guy. Actually, maybe
get back to us on that.
He'll be picked He'll be picked at the top of the first, and we'll be at 32. So,
yeah, that's true. 32.
Another big need for the Browns. Another big need. I think with our 5th or 6th round pick, we should draft Matt Ariza out of San Diego State University. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Yeah.
Matt Ariza is going to be the best punter of all time.
Yes,
he is. His punting average is 70 yards. Ariza is
I would not mind him as a 3rd round pick.
Jamie Gillen needs to go. Jamie Gillen needs to go.
Jamie Gillen is bad. The Scottish Hammer, love the nickname, love the hair. He needs to go.
He's so terrible.
He's gotta go.
We take Ariza and every punt will land within the 20.
Yes. Bro, I wouldn't mind the 3rd round pick. I would take him with my 3rd round pick.
Actually, this reminds me of this reminds me of a question that I was thinking of earlier today. So, if there was a kicker, punter, pick your poison, and you knew he was going to be a Hall of Famer, would you pick him in the 1st round?
So it's would you rather have Justin Tucker or Matt Ariza? I'd rather have Tucker.
But yeah, if I'm getting Justin Tucker, I'm picking him in the first round. Yes.
The gap between Justin
1000% I'm
Tucker
getting
and the worst kicker is a lot bigger than the gap between Matt Ariza and Jane McGillen. Like, we've lost a lot of games on field goals. Not only from us missing them, but also, if we get to take Justin Tucker off the Ravens, that's another plus. So, yeah, I'd take the kicker. But Ariza,
Yeah.
fourth or fifth rounder,
Oh my goodness.
definitely something we should consider.
He had 2 80-yard punts in the same game.
And it's not like he's getting lucky rolls.
on my team.
They're going 65 yards in the air. It's not lucky.
Yeah,
I feel like he must have the largest thunder thighs of anybody known to man. Honestly,
Yo. Sorry,
I was looking at the Myles Garrett cover picture earlier today.
I'm thinking about lunch today.
We were looking at the Myles Garrett cover picture. You know, the one where he's like completely nude and his thighs are like the size of my head.
People questioning us, don't ask how that came around. Like, don't ask.
Okay, so anyway, moving on.
We're moving on from that? I feel like that's the most valuable part of this podcast. Come on.
Time for the bad news.
Go on.
Nick Chubb, Demetric Felton, both likely out with COVID this Sunday at the Patriots, Foxborough.
Whoa.
We're back to D'Ernest Johnson.
Yeah.
Not a bad place to be, but I'd rather have Chubb.
Obviously. You know, the last time, the only time in Nick Chubb's career where he's fumbled twice in a game was at New England in 2019, if you remember that, on like back-to-back handoffs, which I still to this day think Bill Belichick, that should be another like something gate in itself, Chubb gate. Like, how do you make Nick Chubb fumble on back-to-back handoffs is absurd to me. But anyways, I think we're gonna miss him. I think we honestly should probably what I was gonna say. Playing against the Patriots is always difficult, especially trying to throw the ball against them. So losing Chubb is gonna hurt, but I think Baker Mayfield. I think we're getting end of 2020 Baker Mayfield. We're getting end of 2018 Baker Mayfield back for the end of 2021. And I think he'll be able to take on the challenge of the New England Patriots defense.
Wow, what a seamless segue into the keys to the Patriots game. Wow, you heard that motor revving? That was the car starting because we got the keys.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was so good. Holy cow. I'm not even planned. Anyway, the thing that I really wanted to mention, you guys can chip in whenever you want, is negate the short passing game.
I had Jones can do.
I had the graph up earlier. Not anymore, but there's a super crazy stat from earlier in the season, like much earlier in the season, where it showed his passing chart, and like all of the greens come within 15 yards. Yeah. So if we get our linebackers out there in coverage and we just drop back, just like we play the flats, and we just have them hovering around the middle, I don't think that there's any way Mac Jones has a great game.
Because honestly, let's just be honest. We just man-to-man coverage against the Bengals receivers, and we clamped them. The Bengals have a top 10. I was about to say top 5. I don't know, maybe top 5, but definitely top 10 receiver core in football.
I said top 5, easy.
I mean, I think you could say that. I definitely think you could say that. The Patriots have a bottom 8 receiver core with a quarterback who doesn't throw the ball deep. I think we play man-on-man coverage, honestly, on the outside. We should be fine, I think. And just force everything under. I mean, you could say, I would say maybe not. Honestly, maybe force to throw him deep. Force to make him make plays, get him into 3rd and long situations, 2nd and long. Win first down. Like, that's a key to every game. Win first down. And I think that there will be no issues with the Browns winning this game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think Patriots are right now the spot we want to be at because they are one game they're not same record, but they are currently in that last wild card spot. Right now, it's looking like we're not going to win the division. The Ravens look great, even though they're frauds. But the
Lamar Jackson MVP season, but they're still frauds.
That just reminded me of something.
The the Ravens are great. I think we need to aim for a wild card, and beating the Patriots is another step towards that. So I think
Baiden, what
Patriots
did it
game.
remind you of?
We play it simple. We play it, let D'Ernest Johnson pound it. Throw the ball to try to work in
Donovan Peoples, give the ball to Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Try to work
He
in a
is
deep play
best
to
receiver on the
Peoples-Jones.
football team.
I agree. Use Jarvis Landry as a slot receiver. He's washed, but I still love him. Yeah, I think that's what we need for the Patriots game.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said.
So, talking about the Ravens, they do play tonight.
Oh,
Yes.
That's right.
I wanted to talk about that game. They play the Miami Dolphins. The
Right.
Dolphins got their second win of the season against the Texans, so I'm not, putting too much, into that. But is Tua playing? Does anybody know the status on Tua?
Let me see.
Because I think if Tua's playing,
Doesn't
then
matter. They lose by 10. Yeah, 20.
okay. I don't know if they're.
I don't know. I think
game-time
this is a trap. This is a trap game for the
1000%
Ravens.
a trap game for the Baltimore Ravens. Although they're not accustomed to losing trap games, this is the example of a trap game. Tua Tagovailoa has actually been pretty decent. It's just it was just been the opposite last year. Tua was not that great last year, but the team around him was. And this year he's been pretty solid, clearly improved, and now the team around him has been just god awful. So I think if the Dolphins can at least get some sort of momentum off the win last week, I think, and if Tua's playing and he plays well,
They beat the
I
Texans.
think they can keep it close. I know it's the Texans. They haven't won since week one, but
I think it is shocking how far the Dolphins have fallen. But I don't think there's any way the Ravens lose this. And I hope I'm wrong.
I legitimately think that the Dolphins might be a little bit like the Browns 2018, 2019, 2020. I think that the Browns looked good in 2018. We won 7-10, something like
7,
no,
8.
sorry, 7-9, something like that. And then we looked really terrible with Freddie Kitchens as our coach. Oh my God, absolutely terrible. And then last year we made the playoffs and we won our first playoff game.
This is even worse than that 3-year stretch for the Browns, because obviously, yes, they had a better first year. The Dolphins going 11-5 last year, or 10-6. Or is it 11-5 or 10? It was one.
It was 10-6, I think, because they missed the playoffs.
Yeah, they missed the playoffs because they lost to the Bills that last week.
Yeah.
So they went 10-6, just barely missed the playoffs. But were the Browns ever 2-7? We weren't this bad. The Browns were not this bad in 2019. And yeah, I don't know, man. The Dolphins, I think this is what I expected the Dolphins to be last year, and that 10-6 record is probably what I would have thought they would have been this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just kind of flipped.
All right, so I think we want to move. That was a good wrap up, I think, to the NFL segment. So, do we want to move on to Benchwarmers of the week?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, Benchwarmers. I got 4 of them this time.
Let's
I'm
hear.
sure anybody could guess one of them, but we're good. But don't guess. This is my segment.
Okay.
George's, or Gorgeous Niang, as I like to call him. Man is a smoke show. I'm fanning myself right now. Nobody can see it except these two. He's played 3 games, 16 points, 40% from 3. For the Sixers team, I think that he's very valuable. He's taking over this Danny Green spot where he just comes off the bench and scores, which is something that this Sixers team desperately needs after they're down everybody. Danny Green out, Tobias Harris out, I think. Joel was resting one of these games, and he's just come in. He came in and he's a very valuable bench contributor. Yeah. Alex Caruso, GOAT. This was a couple nights ago. It was either last night or it was a couple nights ago. 16 points on 6 of 7 field goals. He's leading the league in steals per game right now, I think. I was trying to think of a cool nickname right off the top of my head, but couldn't get anything. Kelly Oubre. Last night I saw a tweet that he was. Let me pull it up right now. Actually, okay, I don't have it on, but he scored like an insane. He was one of the most points ever scored by the Hornets off the bench last night. He went for 37 points on 7 of 9 3-point, 7 of 9 from the 3, and 5 rebounds. And of course, the last one. Say it with me, guys. Ricky Rubio.
Rubio, yes, sir.
Here, Baiden, you mind talking about that Rubio Knicks game for a second?
Ricky Rubio had the best game of his career.
Yeah.
37 points, 8 assists, only missed 1 3-pointer. It was the last 3-pointer he took. He made 8 of 8 in Madison Square Garden against a pretty good Knicks team so far this year.
Rubio went crazy.
Ricky Rubio has been the point guard that this team has needed since the departure of Kyrie Irving. Well, or at least he's just played at a higher level than any other guard or point guard.
Absolutely.
Darius Garland's been pretty good, but he has not played as well as Ricky Rubio has this year.
Hot take. That's a steaming one.
Just Ricky Rubio's been amazing.
Absolutely.
What can I say? Ricky Rubio has been amazing. If it wasn't for Sexton's injury, I think he probably could have gone on and won 6th Man of the Year.
Yeah,
because he would have stayed off the bench.
But
you're good when you only lose.
Got a chance.
You know you're really good when you lose 6th Man of the Year to becoming a starter.
Yeah. I just think that that was just a great game. That was a great game overall against what seems like a high-level playoff team in the New York Knicks.
And then last night versus the Wizards, again, first seed in the East. So we already talked about it, so I don't need to elaborate. But he went for 25 and 5. I don't know. He's just so good. Like, this is exactly what this Cavs team needs, is a extra facilitator off the bench. And I mean, he's scoring too. Let me pull up his stats actually really quick, because I just want to see what he's averaging this year. He's averaging 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists off the bench on 40% from 3. I love him. He's my
incredible.
favorite. Spanish Jesus.
Spanish Jesus, indeed.
And then I think we want to wrap it up with a little trivia bit.
I have one preemptive Benchwarmer of the week.
Oh, okay.
He would have won it 3 weeks ago had we already had a podcast. This is Ernest Johnson. Johnson is going to ball out this week against the Patriots. 20 carries, 100 yards, and a touchdown. He's going to be great. He's going to get some receiving work, too, because he's the only running back. We have Brian Hill, who we signed off the practice squad, but he doesn't know anything. Johnson balling out. That's what I have to say. All right, I'm ready for trivia. I'm ready.
I like it. All right, and then I've got our little 3 questions of trivia.
All righty.
So,
we all have one at this moment?
We all have one at this moment. It's all tied up.
Yeah.
So are you gonna have like 2 questions you know the answer to, and a third one that you don't know that you're gonna
last week was an anomaly. This week I know the answers to 0 of them.
All right.
Oh, okay. That's gonna be interesting.
All right. So, which Browns quarterback holds the record for career average yards per pass attempt? The 4 choices are Vinny Testaverde, Bernie Kosar, Baker Mayfield, and Otto Graham.
There's no.
I was gonna say it was Jarvis Landry.
If it was amongst any player in his,
it would absolutely be Jarvis.
1,000% Jarvis Landry.
My bet is it's Vinny. I think it's Vinny.
Got it. I was thinking Vinny too. There's no way it's Otto Graham.
He goes big. Vinny goes big.
Vinny played for the Jets a couple years, and he was like so hot. He reminds me of Ryan Fitzpatrick a little bit.
I'm gonna say Vinny.
Yeah, I think
That's
we're all
my
in
pick.
this.
Because I don't think I like Baker Mayfield, but I feel like Vinny came at just the right time when the game was really starting to go into passing for him to have that like yards per attempt, and I
Yeah.
think Baker just doesn't.
And
We have such
Baker
a strong running game.
Yeah,
All
It's
right,
a little
let's
bit
see.
boring that we all go for the same pick, but I think it's the
Yeah.
reasonable
but
one.
it's just the right pick.
It isn't. It's not.
Is it Sight?
No, hold on. Since it doesn't show me the answer, let's get a guess again. Kosar, Mayfield, or Graham?
I'd say Mayfield.
I'd say Kosar now.
I'm gonna say
Well, you know
Whoever
what?
gets-
I'm gonna be
We're gonna
cool, and I'm gonna go Graham.
We're gonna say this one's for points too, since no one got it right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. So we're all going different answers. I got
Yeah.
Mayfield. Jacob's got
Kosar.
Kosar, and Sam's got Graham.
All right, I'm clicking it. Not Bernie Kosar.
Fuck.
It is Otto Graham. Otto
There's
Graham
no
still.
way.
Well, most of the little
50s. Why are they throwing the ball deep down the field?
whenever this was made, and I don't know how long it is. While most of Graham's statistical records have been surpassed in the modern era, he still holds the NFL record for career average yards gained for pass attempt with 8.98. I don't know if this has been
That's
broken.
still all time. That's still, hold on. Let me
Look it up, because I don't know if that's still accurate.
All right.
It's not
I'm going
so
to
crazy
Pro-
that it's
I'm going
Graham.
to Pro
but
Football Reference.
It's not so crazy, but
So
I am
per pass
surprised.
attempts,
It says it's Otto Graham.
I didn't mean to
It's
do
not
that.
shocking.
Otto Graham, Sid Luckman, Deshaun Watson, Norm Van Brocklin, then Patrick Mahomes.
Yep, he is right. Otto Graham. It says it just rounds up to 9 for me. 9
Yeah.
yards per attempt. Wow.
Wow.
That is wild.
The guy
The all-time
played
leader.
46 to 55. Shout out Otto Graham. I'm sorry. Well, that's 2 for me. I mean, I'm not going to complain at all. I'll write
Alright.
it down later, but that's sick.
I've
next.
seen this list before too. I just didn't remember. I was really confident that if it wasn't Testaverde, it was Mayfield. But I didn't realize Otto Graham was throwing the ball
Otto Graham is like that.
9 yards per play.
Otto Graham is built different. What can I say? All right. Question number 2. It's another Browns question. Which Brown holds the team record for career interceptions?
Like passing interceptions or actually like
Defensive interceptions.
oh,
like
okay.
the answer, the options are Warren Lahr, Tome Darden, Tashawn Gibson, and Joe Hayden.
Oh, I thought you meant. Oh, wait, can you say that all again?
Yes,
Warren Lahr, Tome Darden, Tashawn Gibson, or Joe Hayden.
it's definitely not Deshaun Gibson.
It can't be Gibson, yeah.
There's no way.
I think it's probably one of the ones that we don't know.
Hayden's
I
the
think-
easy choice, but he did leave when he was only, 28?
Yeah, Hayden was not so much of a ball hawk as he just was a lockdown corner. You just
I
wouldn't
don't think
throw
it's
it
Hayden.
away.
So who are the
I
other
think
two
it's
guys? I think it's
Lahr or
Darden.
Dart. I think it's Lahr. I think
I'm
it's
gonna go
Lahr.
Darden. I'm gonna go Darden.
Yeah, I'm going Darden.
Darden is correct. Tied it up at 2 to 2
We're all
to
at
2.
All right.
So the little blurb is Darden, a 3-time All-Pro free safety, holds franchise records with 45 career interceptions, 10 single-season interceptions, and 820 interception return yards.
When did he play? Oh,
I
he
don't
played
know.
in like the 70s. Okay, that's what. Yeah.
So he was returning interceptions for like 20 yards every single time. That's crazy.
That's what
He's
Troy
a
Hill
fr-
does. Hill like has the longest interception return average. He's like pretty high up there in NFL history.
All right, and then
He had a touchdown interception return last year. I remember that.
I think he had 2 of them.
all right. So who was the first Cavalier? Oh, I have an awesome. Who was the first Cavalier with 200 3-pointers in a season? I know this. I think I know this one because I was looking at the Jetty Osmond stats, so I'm pretty sure I know this one. So the 4 answers are J.R. Smith, Wesley Person, Mo Williams, and Kyrie Irving.
Mo Williams.
I'm gonna go with Person. Don't know who that
I
is.
am I am almost confident it is J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith was jacking up so many passing attempts per
But
game.
he was the third option, fourth option in that offense.
Wait, what was the question again? Repeat the question.
First Cav with 200 3-pointers in a season.
It can't be J.R. Smith.
There's no ways. I'm saying
I am almost confident it is J.R. Smith.
Not even like great 200. That's not even 3 a game. If you play,
I don't know. I'm going with my gut. I think it's J.R. Smith.
I'm gonna say
All
I'm
right,
gonna
no.
go with Wesley Person.
It is not Kyrie. It is not Mo Williams. It is not Wesley Person.
Damn it! No way.
That's right. That's right.
It's J.R. Smith.
J.R. Smith in 2015 to 2016 made a franchise record 204 3-pointers, shooting 40% from 3.
That's got to be the lowest
He
all
made
time.
a franchise record 65 playoff 3-pointers, which is the 4th most threes made by any NBA player in a single postseason. J.R. Smith built different.
J.R. Smith.
That's low.
Let's not talk about the 2017 finals. 2018.
Oh God! Why'd you have to do that? We were having such a good time. I'm in a bad
mood now. I'm in a bad mood now because you did not have to bring that up.
We weren't gonna win that finals anyway. Just saying.
Shut up, bro.
I understand that, but like we would have won a game.
That's true.
At least win a game. We just got
Jacob. This cannot be real, bro. This cannot be real. Anyway, I think that's a good place to end the podcast. We're gonna yell at Jacob off camera probably for that one.
I gotta talk to you too, Sam, because you brought up Deshaun Kaiser as well. Yeah, like you're not off the hook either.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in to the second episode of the Benchwarmers Podcast. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching.
No, plug the socials. The socials.
We have a
Follow
Twitter
us on
account
Twitter. At Benchwarmers216.
We're so cool. I pinky promise.
Goodbye.